Good day everyone. I am Jemima Korahe, the first reporter of this topic: challenges of global information systems. What is global information systems? A global information system is an information system which is developed and/or used in a global context. A global information system is any information system which attempts to deliver the totality of measurable data worldwide within a defined context. The airline reservation system Sabre.com, is one example for a global information system. Mostly multinational, international or global virtual operating companies include global information systems in their business processes and strategy. Expanding globally. Global connections. The news. Analyzing the impact of the Chinese tariff hike. Considering alternatives. Multinational organizations. Multinational organizations, also called transnational corporation, any corporation that is registered and operates in more than one country at a time. Generally, the corporation has its headquarters in one country and operates wholly or partially owned subsidiaries in other countries. Examples like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Dell, and other world's largest corporations. Every multinational firms generally have offices and workshops in different countries and a centralized headquarters where they coordinate global management. The web and international commerce. The web, the World Wide Web, commonly known as the web, is an information system where documents and other web resources are identified by uniform resource locators, which may be interlinked by hyperlinks, and are accessible over the Internet. The web is an interconnected system of public web pages accessible through the Internet. The web is not the same as the Internet. The web is one of many applications built on top of the Internet. International commerce. International commerce is defined as transactions between companies or organizations in different countries. Compared to domestic commerce, international commerce is considerably more complex due to cultural differences, licensing agreements, global supply chain relationships, and country regulatory compliance. International commerce involves transactions that cross sovereign nations with different regulations and political environments. International organizations ensure fairness and standard practices. The definition of commerce means the buying and selling goods on a large scale or social relations. An example of commerce is trade between two countries. An example of commerce is the social or intellectual exchanges amongst a group of friends. International commerce in the international system provides a well-rounded understanding of how law, politics, and other internal and external forces affect international commerce. Studies cover internal factors that influence leadership decisions in global organizations. Imperatives to heed when designing websites for an international audience. Plan the site before you develop it. A site for an international audience requires more planning than a national one. Learn the cultural preferences. Learn the cultural preferences, convention differences, and legal issues. Preferences or use experts who know these preferences. Tailor each local site, or a local section of your site, to the way in which the local people prefer to shop, buy, and pay. Translate properly. Use local interpreters to translate content for local audiences. Do not use software or other automated methods, unless humans review the translated material. Experienced translators are attentive to contemporary nuances and connotations. Be egalitarian. Do not let any audience feel as if it is less important than other audiences. Keep all local sections of your site updated and with the same level of information and services. Avoid cultural. If the local language or culture has a word or picture for imperialism communicating an idea, use it. Do not use those of your own country. Give the local audience a homey experience. Think globally, act locally. When a company opens a local office, it is advisable to let a local team handle both the website and fulfillment operations. Marketing experts advise companies that operate internationally to think globally, act locally. Acting locally means being sensitive to regional customs and language nuances. A local branch of the company might recruit engineers with the same excellent qualifications as those of their peers in other countries.
Good morning, sir. Rachel Diap is my name. I will report conflicting economic, scientific, and security interests. The goal of corporate management is to seize a large market share and maximize its organization's profit. The goal of national government is to protect the economic, scientific, and security interests of its people. Scientific information is both an important national resource and a great source of income for foreign corporations, so occasionally those interests conflict. The goal of corporate management kay di ba ang goal sa mga magtukod og business is to gain profits, and also if ang usa ka business has a good corporate management or governance ensures transparency which maka-ensure pod og strong and balanced economic development. And then, nasa goal ang national government, kani sila are responsible for maintaining internal and external security and stability. So it means ang national government are responsible for establishing those national and enforcing them. Political challenges. Information is a power. Some countries fear that a policy of free access to information could threaten their sovereignty. Global corporations must ensure compatibility with the software adopted by the government and corporations in such locales. Some nations are afraid that cross-border information flow promotes cultural imperialism, must also be aware of limits that governments impose on internet use. So we have this what we call political challenges or factors affecting business. There are several aspects of government policy nga makaapekto sa business. It could add a risk factors and lead to a major loss sa usa ka business. Maunang, we should understand that political challenges and factors have the power to change results. That is why companies should be ready to deal with the local and international outcomes of politics. Kanang changes sa government policy can make up the political factors. It might be mag-change ang atong economic status, social, and so on. Different standards. Differences in standard must be considered when integrating ISS internationally, even within the same company, because nations use different standards and rules in their daily business operations. Sometimes records within one company are incompatible. Okay. Why standard is important sa any kind of business? Kay di ba standard make everyday life works. They may establish size or shape or capacity of a product. Labi na ang pag-process or system sa usa ka business by the use of standards. It specify performance of product or even sa mga personnel. Standards help to ensure that fits on what is the purpose of a business international to local has different standard use. Sa US alone, there are more than 100,000 of standard. Isa na didto ang product-based standards, ISO standards, and etc. Sa local pod, naapod lahi-lahi na standards, depende pod sa type of business and the product they are offered. Legal barriers. The fact that countries have different laws has a significant impact on global business in general and on e-commerce in particular. The differing laws can pose serious challenges to international transfer of data, free speech, and the location of legal proceedings when disputes arise between buyer and seller. When we see barriers, it refers to a rule, law, or policy that make it difficult or impossible for something to happen or be achieved. Common example ani is license or permit. This is usually issued by the government to maintain quality but reduce the level of competition at the same time. Another example is trade barriers. It is when government introduce quotas, tariff, and other trade restrictions. So if ang mga imported goods become too expensive due to tariff, then ang mga customers won't buy them. Privacy laws. Although many of the challenges involved in cross-border data transfer has been resolved through international agreements, one remains unresolved. Respect for individual privacy in the conduct of international business. Interestingly, despite the importance attached to privacy, it, its value is not even mentioned in the Constitution of the United States and many other countries. Nonetheless, a majority of the democratic nations try to protect individual privacy. Privacy laws in different countries there also have different approaches to the issue of privacy as reflected in their laws. Naiuban, they are willing to forget some privacy for the sake of better marketing and free flow information. Ang uban pod kay restrict any collection of personal data without consent of the individual. So kining privacy laws is makatabang sa business or sa atua to establish boundaries to limit who has access to our things, as well as our communication and information. It will also build trust with customers, manage data, protecting practices, and most importantly, comply with the laws. Applicable law. Countries have differing laws regarding free speech which can significantly impact on what company may or may not display from its servers. Other laws affecting online business include those that address gambling, auctioning, sales of alcoholic beverage and drugs, and other areas. After establishing online business in another some companies discovered that their practice was not in compliance with a local law. So those laws or business law mainly aim at maintaining order, establishing a set of general accepted standards, resolving disputes, and protecting liberties as well as right when it comes to business, as well as its relations to its customers, government authorities, and other businesses. But the laws is applicable depende ra sab siya kung unsa nga klase nga business, especially sa operation nga ginahimo sa usa ka business. Even sa kanang makakommit tag crime naa sab applicable nga law na para sa atong nabuhat, or in every business pod naa pod applicable nga law na i-apply or i-implement. Different time zones. Companies that operate in many global regions, especially multinational corporations, must craft policies for the work of both their employees and information systems. Teleconferencing system must be available much of the day and in many cases 24 hours per day so that employees many time zones apart can communicate to discuss problems that need immediate resolution. But when business expand across the global and change time zones, it can actually give the business a competitive advantage, so this will be considered by the businesses as outsourcings for cost saving and increased organizational efficiency. That's all. Thank you.